This video is to show you how to make a seating chart in Infinite Campus. So once you're into Infinite Campus, click Seating Chart. Now I have two seating charts here that I'm using currently this year, but if I wanted to make a new seating chart at the beginning of the school year, like we would do in August, we click New, pick which class you would like to use it for. Now, some people had issues with deciding what hour class it is. Remember, when Todd makes the schedule, your section numbers might not coincide with the class number. So you have to look at the section number in your grade book first to figure out what hour it is. So for example, let's just maybe make a seating chart for this. So I have the section of 4190. So if I got to go figure out what Gen Chem class 4190 is, so I go to my grade book, and if I look here, 4190 is GS1, which is my first hour class. So 4190 GS1-1 is my first hour Gen Chem class. So now if I go back to my seating chart, so go back to New, so 40-1 GS1-1 is my first hour Gen Chem. So let's make that first hour. Okay, how many columns do I want? I want 8 because that's how my room is set up. How many rows do I want? I want 4. You can choose what kind of spaces you want horizontally. I want maybe a half a desk. Vertically, I don't want one. And then I want it to just randomly put my students in the desks. So now I create my chart. Now, depending on how you set this up, I always make the front of my room the bottom. So then I move children to the front of my room. And you just, as you can see how I'm moving children, you just drag the children to the desk that you want. So it works for you. And obviously if you get red, that means you've gone too far over and it's going to bounce back, or it's actually going to come together, however you want to work it. Okay, so let's say that's how I want my seating chart. Okay, but now let's say, for example, okay, if I want it that way, I can click Save. Now, if I want to move my boxes around because it's not exactly like my setup, okay, then you just drag and move them around to whatever sees fit for your design. Alrighty, so let's say this is my finalized seating chart. So now I click Save. And now if I want to go to print this seating chart, I go up to Report Options. I always go Landscape just because it fits better that way. And I also want their picture when they print. So I click Generate Report. Here's how it's going to look. And then obviously I click Print and follow the steps from there. Okay, so that's how you make your seating chart initially. Now, let's say, for example, you want to take the same layout because you just spent time making this layout and you want to use this for a different class. So now I'm going to click Copy Layout, pick the class that you want it for. So now I'm going to do my study hall hour. I'm going to give it my name, 8th hour study hall. Okay, they can go alphabetically, and now I create my chart. And again, it's placed my kids again at the top, starting that was my front. But again, I would have to move them down to the bottom depending on how I have my room set up or how you want this to look when your chart prints. Okay, so let's say that's what I end up with. I could follow the same format to print. Okay, now unfortunately there's no way to get back to your seating chart, so you got to click back out and then click back in. Now let's say we're at the end of the semester or the end of the quarter and you want to change seats. Okay, so I go into my, let's say my study hall, I open my chart. You can clear your students up here. It's going to ask if you want to clear them all out of the desks. So yep, it took them all out and now they're at the top. And now you click Place Students, however you want them this time, and there's your kids. The other way to do it is once it has the chart made, you can just drag and move them around if you want to place them that way, aka strategically place the kids. So that is how you make seating charts in Infinite Campus. If you have any questions, please feel free to let Nathan or myself know.